It is great.
It's
It's
so great. I can't wait for this.
it really is so fantastic to see it happening and
Mm.
to see how really easy it is.
Hi everyone. In this video, Jennifer and I are going to explore the upcoming World Music Pedagogy course hosted by MTIIS. We're super excited to be offering this course that is specific to the needs of music teachers working in the world of international schooling. And that's what we're all about, serving the community and creating a space that is just for us. So today I've got Jennifer with me. We're going to have a little chat and go through a few questions and hopefully give you more of an idea of what this course is about. So, how you doing, Jennifer?
Good, good. Great to see you. Great to chat, as always.
So, can you briefly describe what does world music pedagogy mean, and why might an understanding of this pedagogy benefit our community?
Yeah, world music pedagogy is a term that came along over the past really 2 to 3 decades as researchers, music educators. We looked at the fact that there was a lot more music happening than just what we had been trained in and what music teachers were being trained in. And over the years have just developed ways of approaching this. And Smithsonian in particular has looked at what teachers need, what's happening in the classrooms, and how it can be supplemented, but in a way that's very inclusive and not in a way that is, okay, now we're going to package up a little bit of a unit on this. So really, one of the things they've done, which is fantastic, is there's a series of books called World Music Pedagogy, and it covers elementary, instrumental, choral, secondary, general music, and just really an overview of how to approach this. And for teachers, we're looking at, okay, you've got this happening in your classroom. Now, how are we going to be incorporating? How are we going to be teaching this from a perspective of world music and that the fact that there's music happening all around the world? And it goes through a series of steps you can take, all depending on what your audience is and what level of students you're working with and what their backgrounds are as well. Understanding this pedagogy really helps teachers then look at their programs from a very broad perspective, a world perspective, and saying, for example, all right, we're looking at beat and rhythm. And instead of typical examples of beat and rhythm that I know I learned and teachers are still learning in their music teacher training, it's saying, wait a second, let's think about this and let's bring in music from other parts of the world that, wow, they have a steady beat too. And there are rhythms that are incorporated in this. And let's really broaden the experience for our students.
So, what is the most valuable thing that you hope international school music teachers might take away from this course?
Well, this one especially, not only are we looking at different ways of bringing world music into the program, not just the classroom, but into the whole program, is as music teachers in international schools, we are in another different situation, or shall we say, we have a different dynamic happening because we've got music from many other cultures right outside the door. And so we're looking at musicians that we may have even working at the school able to come in and work with the students. It's looking at finding ways to be tapping into those resources, finding ways to have support from the administration of getting these musicians in, learning from them, but also having the chances then as teachers to spend time with these musicians and learn straight from them as well. Then being able to decide, okay, from what we learned from this musician, how can we then transmit this to the students in a way that involves them and really makes it an integral experience for the students, for the visiting musicians, and for the entire community.
So, can you tell us more about one of the guest clinicians that you have joining us on this course?
Yes, one of the fellows that we've got coming in, his name is David Almengod, and he's actually from the Dominican Republic. He's just been working with our students. He's a dynamic percussionist, and his really, you can see his biggest thing is when he gets to work with a bunch of kids, and be those kids age 5, age 18, and adults as well. And so David has spent a lot of time in the barrios, in the villages outside of the cities, and really looking at what the musicians are doing there. And so one of the pieces I know he wants to be teaching us is called Caramine. And I was able to be there as our students were learning this piece, and it had terrific drum parts, and drum parts that were, some were difficult, some were easy. So not only did it involve then and challenge the students who are pretty good at rhythms, but then David was able to really quickly see, oh, okay, these students, they need to do this version of this pattern because that's hard, and here's how we can do it. And so even with the güiro, which is an instrument that goes, you could say, okay, this grade level, they can just do a steady beat on that güiro. But what he does then is he puts it all together, and he shows you as a teacher just, wow, this works. We can make it work. And the students get a really relevant and meaningful experience playing this music. And it's got dance movements too, and it's just really a fun piece to sing and move to and play.
Okay, so the course we've developed has 8 2-hour sessions, and we've done that on purpose so that we can spread the learning out and make sure participants have a nice kind of experience of a bit of space between each session for processing. And we found that a lot of courses that we've seen, or maybe we've even attended, are these kind of very intensive courses, and then you just don't really have much time to process. So we've designed this specifically so that you've got some space to think, to process, to build, and to come to the next session over the 16 hours of the course. So, Jennifer, what can participants expect then during, say, each 2-hour session? Maybe you can give an example of one.
Yeah, so we're going to start out with just looking at, well, introductions and looking at what different people are doing, what their expertise is, where they may be teaching, what they want out of the course, and introducing really the program, or one of the ways that Smithsonian, the World Music Pedagogy type of class, really structures how we involve students in listening, in active listening, in playing, and talking about how the music fits into the culture. Each 2 hours, I believe we set it up so there'll be theoretical stuff for 1 hour, and then playing and experience, listening, playing, learning about a culture's music. This will then move on to the next pieces, which will be, all right, how are we dealing with the ever-changing aspect of authenticity? How do we approach authenticity? Looking at that, looking at diversity, equity, inclusion, and in sessions on that, sessions on as well racism, and how are we speaking about music that perhaps might be inculcating something that we're not trying to promote. Really looking at simple ways that the environment in which students are learning, the words that we're using to teach, and what they're listening to makes a difference to how they perceive the world, how they perceive people and their own musics. So sessions really examining that, as well as sessions looking at, all right, I'm at this school, I just got here, and I know there's all this music happening out around me. I don't know anything about it. I don't know the language. How am I going to bring that into my classroom? It seems like a behemoth. It's daunting. And so what do I do? And so really examining that. We're also going to have an interview with Patricia Campbell, who has really been a driving force in the Smithsonian's World Music Pedagogy work and the publications that have come out. And so she is really delighted to be part of this as well. So again, it's going to be looking at theoretical and practical, the how-tos, and then also the other fun side of it, where we're watching, looking, trying different musics and seeing these culture bearers, clinicians actually executing their craft, shall we say.
So what are you looking forward to most about hosting this World Music Pedagogy course through the MTIIS?
Well, first of all, I know it's a huge group, MTIIS. I think it's fantastic. And these musicians and educators are all just there and ready and doing. We're all busy doing, just musicking, shall we say, with students. And so one of the things I love is, first of all, meeting all the participants and getting to know them, getting to know their stories and what they're doing, because it really is amazing to hear the different stories of what teachers have been doing, their backgrounds, what they're up against, or what they really find works, and what they can promote. And so that is one of the first things. It's talking with the participants, because even though, many of the workshops I do, even though I'm the one, first sort of getting things moving, it's very, very often it turns out that the teachers themselves are bringing in and making it even bigger than it was at the beginning, instead of just each person, being there. It's sort of the group as a whole, and what ends up in the end is a group as a whole, and what they bring into it, and I learn from them as well. And so that's I would say that's one of the biggest things. And secondary is then seeing educators go from, oh, I don't know how to do this. How do I do this? To, I got this. So that's the big, I guess the second biggest thing is just going, aha, and then seeing that confidence grow.
So thank you, Jennifer, for giving us all that kind of information about the course. It's really exciting. If you are keen to sign up and join and register for this course, it's very simple. You can jump online to mtiis.co, and all the information is there. You can find a link through. In this post, there will also be a link directly to the registration page. There's two ways. You can either sign up directly through a payment portal, or you can request an invoice, which means that you can, go through your processes at school, and we can provide the invoice for you, and you can get that payment sorted. It's going to be an amazing experience. 8 sessions, action-packed, so much learning, and most importantly, connection. I think that's what we're really excited about. As Jennifer just said, it's getting to know each other's stories, where we're all working and what we're doing, and growing together in this massive community that we have. So jump online and consider signing up as soon as possible. And we really look forward to seeing so many people there sharing in this experience.